Good evening. Welcome to Thursday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, sentenced after a terrorist bombing plot, 4 men from Stoke-On-Trent are given lengthy jail terms.
Well, they were part of a group of Islamist radicals from London, Cardiff and the Potteries who'd planned a series of bombings around the country, including pubs in Stoke-On-Trent. 3
of the men, Nizam Hussain, Mohammed Shahjahan and Usman Khan, were given indeterminate sentences with a minimum term of 8 years and 10 months. Mahiba Rahman was sentenced to 5 years for possessing terrorist literature.
Well, they pleaded guilty last week. Here's our Staffordshire reporter, Liz Copper.
Released tonight, surveillance footage of a meeting in Cardiff where terror was plotted. The 4 members of the gang from Stoke-On-Trent were described by the judge as being responsible for a serious long-term venture in terrorism that could have resulted in atrocities in Britain. They were first placed under investigation by Staffordshire Police more than 3 years ago.
We're delighted with the sentences. 3 of the men from Stoke-On-Trent have received indeterminate sentences, which were brought in specifically in 2005 for public protection purposes, which means although there's a minimum tariff, that these men will not be released, 3 of these men will not be released until they're deemed no longer to be a danger.
One of the men from Stoke-On-Trent, Mohammed Shahjahan, had appeared in a BBC documentary talking about bringing Sharia law to the UK.
Many people have called myself a radical, a fundamentalist, maybe a terrorist even sometimes. But if they say that I'm a terrorist because I'm calling for my faith, then fair enough. It doesn't mean nothing to me because, if anything, it shows that I'm on the footstep of the Prophet Muhammad because he was called a terrorist, a fundamentalist as well. So I'm happy if they're going to call me these names.
On the streets of Stoke-On-Trent, these young men know some of the gangs sentenced today.
With the young ones, it's giving us a bad name because everybody's thinking, we're involved as well. So it's annoying because we're getting involved in a group that's not us.
I know him a bit personally rather than as terrorists, as people are saying.
It's giving us all a bad name for the same reason, where really not all of us are like that. Well, most of us aren't like that because being named as terrorists is really bad, like for our community, for our race and with our religion and everything. It's just not right.
The Stoke-On-Trent extremists had talked about setting off pipe bombs in pub toilets in their hometown. They'd pleaded guilty after being given an indication by the judge of the maximum jail terms they could expect.
People expect terrorists to be, locked up and the key to be thrown away. It's not the case. If we go back to the Northern Ireland Troubles, for example, we saw sentences being handed down there ranging from 2 years to life imprisonment. So there was quite a degree of variation depending on the level of the offence.
Staffordshire Police say the plans to target pubs weren't well developed, but could have led to serious injury or death. Staffordshire Police say this entire investigation was prompted following concerns first raised here on the streets of Stoke-On-Trent. Tonight, they've urged the community to remain vigilant and continue to report any similar concerns. Liz Copper, BBC Midlands Today, Stoke-On-Trent.
Well, on to the rest of the night's news.